Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Angel. How you doing? Hi, Mike. 1176. I got in my thumbnail, New York City free for none instead of a free for all. It was a free for all, but they called him a YouTube influencer. But I heard he mostly went on Twitch. I don't know what's true, what's not true. But anyway, promised some clowns a free PlayStation, and who knows how many tens of thousands of dollars of damage happened. But so Mr. T, he had another dinner this evening, and he was talking about deranged Jack Smith, called him a lost soul. I thought that was interesting. But he also made a point to say that he was vicious and overall an impression that he was evil. Hi, Kim. How are you doing? Melinda. Lucy, how are you doing? Nice to see you. So they say that Fannie Willis in Georgia has ordered the streets around the courthouse to be closed starting Monday morning. What's that all about? Hi, Henri. Hi, Georgia. Linda, how you doing? B-Dog, how are you? Phil, Michael, Lisa. Hi, Mary, how are you? So, yeah, Fanny's moving forward. And there's a lot of stuff been coming out about her. She had some kind of, I don't know if it was a relationship, friendship, or something going on with a gang member. That's coming out. I don't know if it was business or personal or what it was. But, hey, moth to a flame. They want that fame. They be careful what they wish for. Hi, Cheshire. How are you doing? So I had been scanning through some other creators and looking for updates, and we talked a couple of nights ago about exculpatory evidence and deranged Jack fibbing by omission about the tapes at Mar-a-Lago. They weren't erased, but publicly the claims were there's some monkey business with the security tapes. But now we also find out that Bernard Kerik, former chief of police in New York City, had given Jack Smith's office everything they asked for as far as what would pertain to the charges against Mr. T. And let's see what the terminology they used was that the information Bernard Kerik gave them was absolutely exculpatory toward the main charges against President Trump. And, you know, even if somebody's a former president, they still get referred to as the title of their office. So if anybody's got an issue with that. Hi, Angel. How you doing? So that's going to be interesting. And I've heard some creators say that Mr. T, his team was wanting the proceedings to be televised. But then I'm hearing that, no, they feel that would be harmful to Mr. T's rights because for whatever reasons. But then I saw clips on The View that the hags on The View were demanding that it be televised. So that's going to be interesting. Just checking the chats here. If the boss had subpoena power, then there's a certain person in the UK who's available. Ah, that's true. There. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is moves and counter moves. There's game theory going on here where they're looking way down the road. Hi, camperman. They're looking way down the road. I'm sure they've got computer models for legal theories and everything that's humming away. But they're at the same time, we're talking about subpoena power. Yeah, that's great because they'd be able to put forth evidence that has never been put before a court concerning 2020. But the media, through this professional, very sophisticated PSYOP of Mockingbird program, has everybody thinking that 20 judges have looked at all the election stuff already. But we know that's not the case. We know everything was thrown out or denied for one reason or another, and there was never any real discussions about what happened on 2020. So then you have another discussion that's going on about SCOTUS. Alan Dershowitz is coming out saying that SCOTUS there should be a special appeal to the Supreme Court, and that SCOTUS would throw out the charges because they don't meet a minimum minimum may not be the best term. It has to be the highest degree of evidence and a very high bar, in other words, to set these charges, what Dershowitz is saying. But what do we want? What do we want? We want things to get out in a public trial? Or do we want SCOTUS to kick this thing out? Well, I don't think that this is a thing for SCOTUS. I think SCOTUS is not the way, and we already know the only way. And I can't see the only way. I can't see. We go through all this stuff, Rudy Giuliani, everybody trying to get the stuff in front of judges about the election being rebuffed, everything being twisted in the media. We finally have a chance to subpoena and call witnesses and present evidence concerning 2020. Why run to SCOTUS to have that opportunity thrown into the trash pail? Do you agree with that? I just don't see it happening. And I don't see precedents. I don't see precedents. Of course, this is unprecedented that they've ever charged a former president. Really, it's the first time they've charged any person of note for these experimental charges. So, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of plates spinning. I'll put it that way, a lot of plates spinning. Hi, Georgia. Jersey Joe. Miss Minder Sue. Georgia said yes. That SCOTUS would throw it out, or that we should have everything, all the subpoenas put forth. Hi, Diane. How are you? So, I think that Trump is going to appear to be an unwilling victim, but at the same time, they're not putting him on trial. He'll be putting them on trial. That's what I think this is all about. We're getting our day in court. Hi, Roy. Haha, yeah, whoever wins writes history. That's true. Napoleon said that, didn't he? So, yeah, I don't see the case being thrown out by the Supreme Court. I don't even know how you would get it before the Supreme Court. They could file a motion with Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court might take it, just because of its the uniqueness of the situation and the damage that's doing to institutions. I wanted to bring up something else too. Mr. T's done this in the past. He sent his lawyers, and they take a letter in hand and they sit down and have discussions with members of the Justice Department. And he did this with Merrick Garland also. He wrote a letter discussing the harm, the actions the DOJ was taking, or these independent little, or semi-independent, they say, little prosecutors, the harm it's doing to society. And I think that's, in a way, that's legal notice that the Trump administration is putting on record. And I found it interesting he used that term for Jack Smith as a lost soul. And he said also that there was a sickness in our country. And, I have to be careful when I talk about the TRA, and then the rest is NS movement. But he referred to that as a sickness. And his reiterating over and over his strong desire to have Congress pass a bill for all 50 states to prevent that type of, I'm not going to call it treatment, a type of abuse to happen to people who are underage, whether chemical or surgical. There's no way you can call that treatment. Hi, Sherry. How are you doing? If it goes to the Supreme Court, Cheshire's insight, and if they throw it out, it still would not be enough. They will say he was guilty anyway. That's right. If he goes and shows the sauce, the people will know, and MSM can't stop it. That's right, Cheshire. That's the way I feel. I feel the same way. Because they'll just say, that would give them more ammunition to keep going after Georgia said put everything out in discovery. That's right. That would give them more ammunition to go attack the Supreme Court continually. I saw another article where they said Clarence Thomas got a Super Bowl ring from whatever the Cowboys owner's name is, Jerry, what's his face, worth $10 million. So they're still whittling away at the Supreme Court, and that would give them more ammunition to claim the Supreme Court needs to be changed. And the only reason Mr. T got off is because of the Supreme Court let him off. So Alan Dershowitz is probably, from a strictly legal sense, he's right that this is a unique enough case in history And the charges are so nefarious, weak, and obvious vendetta against one person that, yeah, by all rights in a normal society, you wouldn't even have these charges brought and just throw them out. But when we think in a psychological perspective for the rest of the nation, and the fact that we don't have control over what many of our friends and neighbors have drilled into their heads every night, that it would be put out that the Supreme Court was somehow behaving in a nefarious way. Trump was guilty, and he paid off some judges, and he got off, and we'd never get the truth out. So I'm sure if Alan Dershowitz heard it from that perspective, he would probably agree. This is a march we have to go through, a gauntlet we have to run through, a gauntlet. Hi, Donna, how are you? Yeah, Jerk Smith looks like a very empty vessel. He looks like he's a disturbed person, a lost soul. He really does. And, sometimes Trump brings his appearance up to make fun of him, but, it is true. He looks like he's in a very unhappy place. I'll put it that way. Word on the street is that the movie Sound of Freedom has made so much money in the USA that theaters around the world are getting ready to do a premiere. And so far, it's 20 different countries are going to be putting forth Sound of Freedom. So that's probably, gosh, I mean, what's that going to put it over? 200 million? I think last I heard it was projected to be domestically 140 to 50 million. So, hey, I think it's going to be knocking on the door of 200 million. Yeah, Ian, you're right. I can't say those letters, but you're right. I say them, but I break them up. And that's what Rudy Giuliani brought up, that he has a case of T, and then the other two letters are DS. I mean, it makes them crazy. But I think the establishment crowd is crazy because they know they're in trouble. If Trump gets in there, a lot of dirt is going to be exposed. And Mike Huckabee gave an interview where he said he felt Trump would be convicted. If he's convicted, I'll put it that way. Well, let me see. If I think he said he believes Trump will be convicted. Yeah, Mike Huckabee believes Trump will be convicted, and the D.C. case will make its way to the Supreme Court. I don't think anybody has any idea there will be a fair trial in D.C. for Donald Trump, Huckabee said. So it is going to be the most watched court case in history. And speaking of history, it's going to be a story that more people are hearing in real time than any story in human history. Not stuff people read about later in a history book, or no, this is real time. People are paying attention to this all over the globe. Watergate was a big deal, but nobody was worrying about it in China or Russia or over in England a little bit, but not much. Yeah, how you doing, Mike? Mike Taylor News. The word is, if Mr. T said it, if we don't destroy them, they're going to destroy us. Yeah, Diane, Mark Levin, I've talked to him several times over the years. He wouldn't really know me from a stack of wood, but I was good friends with somebody he worked with in Reagan's Justice Department, and he's a passionate person. I'll tell you that, he is passionate. Hi, crazy Cajun lady. Ha 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 ha. That's a good quote, Cajun crazy lady. I'll put that up here. If you made a mistake prepping, you could eat your mistake. But if they make a mistake by not prepping, what are they going to eat? Ha ha ha. That's right. You always be ready. I mean, there were some very terrible blizzards in the 1970s. Not a lot of people remember them. And it paralyzed the Northeast and all up and down the seaboard on into the interior of the U.S. And things like that happened. Nobody's going anywhere. I mean, 4-foot drifts, 5-foot drifts in areas that very seldom got any kind of snow near like that. Yeah, you go through things like that, you have a full pantry. You make sure your pantry is full of dry goods. Hi, Doug. How are you doing? Oh, Kim says on the MSM here in Aussie, but the left are salivating. Mr. T's going down. Well, they're just going to have to. I'm telling you, there's going to be. I think there's a sea change happening. There are people you can tell are waking up that used to hate Trump, but are taking a softer look at him. And on the other hand, you're going to have a certain percentage that we know how this is going to turn out. We know how this is going to turn out. He's going to be found innocent, or the case is going to be thrown out. But either way, before he's found innocent or before the case gets thrown out, I think it's in the cards that the truth is going to be laid out in front of the world about a lot of stuff. It's called declassification, stuff they're trying to hide that they won't be able to hide in discovery. So hopefully more people will drift away from that maniacal dislike for DJT. I mean, these people are like a certain percentage, not all people, but a certain percentage of them are like angry children. They're like angry children. You cannot tell them anything. They're having a tantrum, and they all but wet their pants and talk nonsense, get rude, loud, and they don't think. They have adult temper tantrums. So yeah, at the end of the story, there's going to be people like that. But I'm hoping it's going to be a very small percentage. And we're going to see on this road, I'll call it a road to the truth. That's what we're walking down now. On this road to the truth, there's going to be people who what they believe is going to be butting heads in what they see and hear. There's going to be conflict. And it's going to stress them out and cause more problems for them. But remember, Joe Biden predicted if anything happened to Roe v. Wade, there would be riots in the streets. Oh, they showed off at the Supreme Court and it was a little passel of like 4 women, and the news organizations got their cameras so close to these 4 women. One of them was wearing a red, white, and blue cape and other stuff. You'd have thought there were 1,000 people there, but no, the violence that was predicted, and I say encouraged, never happened. So they're losing the emotional pull that they had on large numbers of people. In Georgia, you made igloos in your front yard back in, that was in 77 or 8. Yeah, happy belated birthday, Georgia. Oh, somebody said, wait a minute, it feels good to see people waking up. Oh, yeah. Feels good to see people waking up, Christina. I thought you were going to say it feels good to see them having temper tantrums. It depends on who's having a temper tantrum. I've got that video on my replay where they're all screaming and crying and raising the devil. Let's see. I'm just going through the chats. Yeah, they're dumbfounded, and I'd rather have them dumbfounded than going off in a rage. And the thing is, too, a lot of people don't realize we know what Operation Mockingbird is. We know it. We know what 5th generational warfare is. Psychological operations. We know what they are. Trump said illegal psychological warfare campaigns. We know what that stuff is, not a conspiracy theory. A lot of people don't know about it. They don't know every time they watch that boob tube or whichever is their preference on their phone, that they're being manipulated in a very sophisticated manner. I mean, these people are experts at behavior modification, psychological manipulation. They do it in the media. They've infected the entertainment industry, the music industry, the movies, the late night comedians, the morning shows, the companies, who stuck their neck out too far, like Bud Light. And Disney is in an upheaval right now. But your daytime shows that we used to all, I used to go to a friend's house and Ellen would be on there. Who in that world would sit there and watch that Ellen DeGeneres show? At least in my mind, I saw no use of it. Oprah, Ellen, The View, okay? Well, The View got some news, quite a bit of news. I know that that country singers are going to be suing for what they did, calling him the R word. But Disney is in such trouble right now. I mean, huge financial trouble. And they own ABC. And they want to cut their losses. They may tighten up on that View, if not outright sell ABC. I've heard that ABC may be on the auction block because Disney Corporation has to sell some of its assets to come up with real cold hard cash, and they can't be having the View clowns causing lawsuits every foggy day. They got to pay out $100 million to who? Kyle Rittenhouse, and to a country singer or whoever else. And what do you think's going to happen? Who was it? Somebody was on CNN trying. Man, she looked like a crazy woman. She was trying to create a story that Melania Trump was in some kind of, I don't know, mental unrest or upheaval because of Donald Trump's charges, or insinuating it was some kind of marital issue for them. Out of the blue, just out of nowhere, she's coming up with this stuff. And there was another guest on there who was an assistant to Melania, may currently be an assistant, I don't know, who said, you don't know what you're talking about. She's fine. She knows her husband can take care of himself, and she's taking care of her business. So, hey, stuff like that can get a lawsuit tossed at you pretty quick. Oops. I'm trying to catch up with some of these chats here. Yeah, I mean, if they put out the proper information, we wouldn't be nearly in this situation that we're in now. This kind of hardship and disagreements. Yeah, I saw him at that wedding. Crazy Cajun lady. All right, Pappy Two Bears. Kicking Bird, how you? Yeah, Angel said hit the like button. Ha ha ha. Well, George said comedians have a gold mine for material. Yeah, they do, but they're all supposedly on strike. But I think they're in a little worse of a situation than that. Hi, Richard. Oh, they got all kinds of symbols. Outlandish. Oh, got some awesome news. Good. Hi, Dottie. Oh, good. 55 days paid. Boy, that's a load off, isn't it? Thank you, Angela. I like your flower. Thank you, Angela. I try my best. Let me see what other stories we got. I think I've said we're going to see a turnaround. Turnabout is fair play, they say. They've been conducting lawfare. They've been sending people to different states to try to make someone bake cakes for them, as you all know, and then they'll sue the baker. And it's obvious that they're just hunting for somebody to try to pressure them into violating their religious beliefs so they can sue them. Well, we're not doing that kind of turnabout, but we are suing. I put up a couple of articles in the past where people are standing up. Students are suing these woke colleges for abusing their speakers or denying their speakers the ability to come speak. There's going to be more and more of this counter lawfare. But Diamond and Silk, I keep up with them on Truth Social. And they put up interesting posts here. Why did 4 anti-Trump federal district court judges show up at President Trump's arraignment, sitting quietly in the back of, quote, the D.C. Lion's Den? That's a quote from from Diamond Silk, and there's a picture of Trump at the courthouse. I used on my thumbnail last night, and below that it says January 6th judge seen quietly watching Trump's arraignment from the back of the courtroom. If you're in the courtroom all the time, why go watch a routine arraignment? Because this one was a circus. And that's an article in the Western Journal you all might want to check out. So, I don't know, you got these judges, they claim that the one he's in front of, that they drew lots. You know, that was kind of like a random pick. And maybe these other 4 judges are saying, gee, I wish I was the one who was handling this case, or I don't know why they would come in the courtroom as spectators. Very unusual, but there they are. Yes, Diamond died. Yeah. Dottie. It's just Silk going now. She does a few shows. Her dad comes on and does chit chats with her. I'm sure he'll cross that bridge when he gets to it about GMO. I think that's tied into where he's pledged to find out in very short order the causes of chronic illnesses, childhood illnesses, and chronic illnesses like diabetes, and things that we didn't experience, problems we didn't experience in prior generations. I think that, and along with the chemicals that they're putting out, he's going to put a really knowledgeable commission together to look at that. Yeah, Lori, I saw that. I heard he paid $16,000 to look like a collie. Really bizarre. Yeah, let's see. What was that? Somebody talking about prepping. Yeah, Tubala, how you doing? Yeah, what's so crazy about having stuff in case things go sideways? You know, it's being prepared. And then Devin Nunes put up, House GOP must probe whether the Department of Justice coordinated with Biden world to silence Archer and indict Trump. Well, that reminds me of a boomerang. Remember when Adam Schiff got everybody's phone records on a like a dark subpoena nobody knew about? He got Devin Nunes' phone records, news reporters' phone records, all this kind of stuff. Well, turnabout's fair play, Adam Schiff. And what if there was collusion to intimidate a witness in front of Congress by menacing him with a jail on a Saturday before his testimony on a Monday? So, yeah, we just keep all that stuff in mind. Because the shoe is on the other foot, we have the upper hand now. We have the power to subpoena not only in Congress, but soon in front of a federal courtroom. That's right, Donna. Mr. T has in common with RFK about childhood diseases. They came from a generation, and their fathers came from generations where we did not see all this insanity. And Joe Rogan put on his, I believe it was Joe Rogan, put on his podcast, speaking of a spike in illnesses, that underage people who identify as trans has spiked 4,000% in the past 60 months or so. 4,000%. That's got to be, that is when the school systems were infiltrated by Michelle Obama, under the guise of going in and changing school lunch programs. They went there, they changed S3X education and opened the doors to recruit and confuse young minds. And all that stuff needs to be addressed, stopped, and people who stepped over the line punished. Oh, who put out that article about a bomb? Oh, bummer. Let me see. Said he was fantasizing about men to one of his old girlfriend. Well, he only had like one girlfriend before he took up with Mike Shell. But let me see if I can find that. Oh, Andy No's trial is going on. Andy No is the one who got a fractured skull when they threw a milkshake cup full of cement and hit him in the head. He's suing Antifizzle for $1 million, and his trial's underway. They're trying to paint him out as a grifter or just looking for money. That's one I'd like to see televised. That's right, Lori. Indoctrination. Causing a lot of damage. Hi, Norm. How are you doing? So let me see where that article went about Obama. If I find it, I'll read, but I really don't need to react. The crux of it was that Obama admitted to his girlfriend back in college that he fantasized about being with men. Oh, it was Glenn Beck. Historian claims Obama fantasized about men, as in an intimate way. I'll put it that way. He didn't fantasize about being Superman or Luke Skywalker or anything like that. It was something else. But he ended up with Mike Shell. Turning all the kids into little vegan transformers. So anyway, there's a more detailed article, but I can't find it. So anyway, what do you all think about the publication or the social media site, whatever, called The Hill? Because they're putting out former President Trump is calling on the Supreme Court to intercede in the legal battles he's facing after he pled not guilty to federal charges related to Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation. The Hill. Now, I know I read Mr. T's post where he said the Supreme Court needs to step in. I don't know if by stepping in he means to put an entire stop to it, or if he is putting himself in a position to say at some point, look, I tried everything available. Before I drop the hammer. In other words, maybe he's appealing to Supreme Court publicly, make it a drama, make it where people pay attention and see, hey, I tried to go to the Supreme Court and they wouldn't hear me. And hey, I tried to present my case. Prima facie evidence that I'm not guilty. exculpatory. And they're still doing this. So now we need something stronger besides civilian mechanisms. Does that make sense, guys? As to why Mr. T is appealing to the Supreme Court? Because I know he wants to get the real story out. And it's the only way to get the real story out in a peaceable manner. Mark Levin to Trump's legal team, PJ Media reported, seek emergency hearing before the Supreme Court. So, yeah, that's possible. You think, Karen? You think he's got Epstein's client list? I'm sure he knows a lot of people on there. Yeah, they have it all, Dottie. Yeah, I saw that, Diane. They blame me for everything. As a matter of fact, I reposted that on Truth Social from Dan Scavino. That's one I said to keep an eye on. Yeah, they all want to make that stuff seem cool to kids. Epic Times has a good ad on YouTube, Tizzle, about 2 minutes, where they have a woman sitting there saying, hey, 5 years ago, we didn't have this problem like this. But in reality, I know when it started. It started when Mike Shell, Obama, started going into the school system under the guise of school lunch programs. Island Girl, how you doing? From Canada. Now they're saying since we got Canada in the house, we got Australia in the house, they said Trudeau is going to come out as maybe a transformer. Did you hear that, Island Girl? Because I was making fun the other night where I had a picture of him wearing a woman's pants, white pants, looked like Marlo Thomas from That Girl. And I was going to make fun of him, and I forgot about it. And the next day, him and his wife said he was getting a divorce. So now people are saying, well, he's getting ready to make a big announcement. He's going to pull a Caitlyn Jenner, maybe? That's what I heard. Thank you. Island Girl going to smash the like button. Y'all smash the like button for me. Doug said, curious about the case. Sidney Powell. She did say, she used that word. It's going to be biblical. The thing, I listened to that and I played it for you all a number of times. Of course, I can't play it on this platform right now, but she didn't really give a definite as to whether she was going to be filing something in Georgia. She said she would be filing something soon, that she'd be working on it this week and filing something soon that would be biblical. The guy tried to get her to narrow it down to where she was going to file. And he said, in Georgia, are you going to do it in Georgia? She said, Georgia definitely has problems. And she went on with that. But then she went on to say, I believe the algo, and the rest of the word is rhythm, affected all the states. So I don't know if she's going to file in one state, multiple states, or a blanket filing for all 50. I don't know. Island Girl says, nope, but I suspected it all along. He doesn't serve the same God as the rest of us. That's for sure. Karen, you got to use a 3. Karen, I can't have that word in there. It's supposed to be P3DO, honey. Don't get mad at me, but the only way I can remove a comment, well, you remove that comment for me, Karen, okay? And that way I don't got to put you in timeout, all right? Because I still, whoops, I still haven't got, oh, Paula, if you're out there, you're going to have to get a new name, honey, because I tried to put you in timeout to remove a comment and I don't know why. I think it's internal to StreamYard because it's not showing up on YouTube if you're out there, Paula. So get a new name and come back in, okay? Because we miss you. Turdy. Turdy probably separated. Wife got tired of him playing footsie. Oh my gosh. I thought she got tired of him going in her closet and taking her clothes out. That would make me mad if I was a woman. Of course, I never did that. I look like a buffalo walking around with I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's internal to StreamYard, Doug. But hopefully she got the word, and you can go in there and in your click on your own self and go in there and just make a new name. And I'm bringing it up now because I don't have any problem people in chats. Because if I have problem people in the chats, I just tell them how to come back after they get kicked out. I don't want, but for people we want back. Speaking of that, Chris, if you're out there, we're all pulling for you and thinking about you, Chris, about your loss. And that was a big shock I'm sure to you. And we're all praying for you. And if you are out there, Chris, I just want to say, remember the story I told about a friend of mine who lost his son, and he was in pain for years and years till he sat down with a lady who told him in private that every now and then God wants to pluck a rose. God just wants to pluck a rose every now and then. So we haven't forgot about you, Chris. And I know you're going through a lot. You hang in there, honey. And we look forward to hearing from you. And take your time. And we're all praying for you. So, anyway, well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out about Trudeau if he, starts going to the doctor and getting his hair done a certain way, letting his hair grow out. That's right, 17 years old, Sandy. Okay, this is Citizens Free Press talking about this guy I talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, person named Kai Cenat, Cenat. I would just call him Snot, Snot, the social media influencer who caused a mob to descend on the police in Midtown New York City. They arrested him. Now I'll throw away the key. They said, now he promised to give away a PlayStation 5. And I'm sure most of you have seen the footage. And if some of you haven't, that's what the big riot was down in downtown New York City. He was going to give away a PlayStation 5 and I don't know how many people showed up, and people got hurt, and just goes to show you. Let me check, Mary. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. Give me a couple of booms in the chats, Mary. Mary went to, this is a viewer supporter and creator supported channel only. Mary helps sponsor tonight's program by going to buy me a coffee. I have a link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out, and I thank you so much, Mary. Could you put me some explosions, Mary, in the comments? Boom, boom. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody else that's helped me in the past with Buy Me a Coffee. Like, I always forget to bring that up. And really, it's the only thing that keeps me going. This is everybody that's contributed to Buy Me a Coffee. And Lone Wolf helped out the other night, and Gary helped out, and Aaron. And I need to add David's name in there. David, don't get mad at me because I hadn't got your name in there, but I put it in. So anyway, folks, that's everybody that's helped me on Buy Me a Coffee, and Mary helped out tonight. Thank you so much. Jersey Joe put the booms in for me. Boom, boom, boom. 3 booms. So anyway, Island Girl, let's see. Oh, okay. Come back next time, Island Girl. Keep an eye on that Trudeau. Make sure you get down to the voting booth when it's time to do it. Oh my gosh. MSNBC, Doris Kearns Goodwin. I tell you, I was going to get a clip of that, what I'm going to tell you about right now. But I'm so sick of listening to these MSNBC. They're talking like we are, there's something wrong with our brains, that we keep voting for Trump and we're not buying their lines. But this woman on MSNBC came flat out and says, her name's Doris Kearns Goodwin. If Trump isn't convicted, then it's going to take organizing the country at all levels so he cannot win an election. So, well, haven't you all already done that? Yes, Atlantis, I saw that. I said, must have taken quite a weight off you. That's right, Mary. I work hard for you guys. Haha, thank you. So anyway, all these comments I think are going to be put underneath the noses of individuals that are going to be in trouble. And have you heard about this song that has gone viral in South Africa, where they're talking about unaliving white farmers? The title of the song is K-I and then double L Boers, B-O-E-R-S. Well, it caused an uproar. And this leader of this political party, the South African EFF leader, Julius Malema, says, we have not called for the unaliving of white people, at least for now. I might have to get a video of that and play it just for posterity, but there you have somebody, influential political leader, openly talking about going after people because of their color of their skin. Hey, Tennessee, how are you doing? Oh yeah, they're gearing people up for more masks and stuff like that. You heard the Boer song today, Dottie? Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? I'm coming up on my hour, folks. So let's keep everybody in mind. Our precious time. It is precious. And think of Chris and her family, and everybody else that we see night after night. We want to stick together and keep each other strong, folks. I don't want to go too far over an hour, but I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. When I go at right about an hour, my videos go to Rumble much quicker. Sometimes they don't even go up at all if I go way over an hour. So that's the reason I'm doing this, folks. And I will be broadcasting soon. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I appreciate everybody that's helped out the channel with Buy Me a Coffee. And Mary, I appreciate so much. And I will be seeing you all soon. Let me see. I'm just checking the comments before I go. All right. You all have a great night, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.